What's up, YouTube? All right, we have the engine out, but I need to change the subframe bushings. All right, I got the engine out on the car since I'm doing the swap, and I have the exhaust off and the drive shaft obviously and the transmission, all that off, which makes doing this at this time a lot easier. But if you're just regularly wanting to do it, you need to get your exhaust out of the way and take your drive shaft off. You probably just have to take the drive shaft off and loosen it up. These are 14mm bolts. You just get a wrench, loosen that up, turn it, and drop it out of the way. Then the first four, we got a 14 here, 14 here, and a 17 there holding the main subframe. So let's get these on both sides first. All right, my plan for this is, since it's jacked up and it's level, I will go ahead and loosen all the subframe bolts up, jack it up from the diff up a little bit higher, take off the wheels, get off the calipers, hang those up, because that's the only thing that can hang up this hang up the subframe. So hang up the calipers out of the way. Oh, and obviously take off the upper what do we call it, upper coilover, or I could take off the bottom coilover. I might take off the bottom coilover since I don't have to get in the car. Take off the bottom coilover and then put jack stands here and then lower it with the whole thing, wheels on, everything. Just lower it all the way down and wheel it right on out. That's the plan. I'm kind of wondering about this. This is bent, and I don't know. I gotta take a look at the subframe. I don't think this car was ever in an accident, but I mean, why would it be bent like that? Maybe it was jacked up on that point or something at some time. Let's see, let's check underneath. Yeah. And underneath you could see right here is bent a little bit, like it's bent a little bit right here, so I guess that's why it's bent. I don't know why it's bent there, but it is. Alright, we got the first subframe bolt off. Alright, once you got both of the front ones, you can come up here and you have the two rear, and these are, I believe they're the same, right? Yeah, these are 17s also. Once you get those, it'll be able to drop, but you have the ground wire that is hooked up. Yeah, check on that. You have the diff vent, and then you have the brakes. So you gotta make sure you have all that off. But once you have that off, you just lower it. I mean, you know, put it on jack stands, lower it, and it goes right on down. All right, I have it jacked up. It's not actually resting on them yet, but I'm going to get the wheels off. When I get the wheels off, I'll go ahead and lower it actually a little bit so it's on the jack stands now. Make sure it's kind of set. Then I'll take the wheels off, and once I know it's set and the wheels are off, I'll take the emergency brake off, which will allow me to take the caliper off and the bottom of the coilover. Alright, we'll get a 17 and get off the lower coilover bolt. All right, I took off the emergency brake, and there are two 17mm bolts on the one on top and one underneath on bottom, and that will allow you to slide the whole caliper off, and then you could zip tie this up there out of the way, so when the subframe comes down you don't even have to worry about the brakes. All right, we got the caliper off. We're just gonna zip tie it up onto here just to keep it out of the way. All right, before you zip tie it off, you'll see here that the brake line goes here on one side of the cross member, and the emergency brake, or the, I don't know, handbrake, goes on the other side. It's easiest to take off this handbrake. Just loosen it from there and then take it off. That could dangle, then this could be tied up, and that way you can drop it. All right, when you're going to take off the e-brake, don't do what I did. All you got to do is unbolt the bolt that's on, it's on the caliper. It'll take off this whole piece. I took this off, which took off, so I have the line. You don't need to do that. All you need to do is take off this bolt, and then you can wiggle it around and get it off of here. Well, this side is ready. Let's get the other side. All right, one more time just to make sure. 17 at the top, then there's the 17 around back on the bottom, and that will allow you to pull off the caliper with the emergency brake off. Then there is the emergency brake thing right there. This bolt, where is it at? This bolt right here, you take that off. It'll allow you to take the this whole arm off, and then you can just swing it around there. That seems to be the easiest way, and that is a 14. So I remember these two bolts go in the front to hold this arm on. That nut goes up to hold the front of the subframe. This smaller nut here goes on the e-brake into the caliper. This bolt is the bottom of the coilover, and this one has, you know, with this spacer and the nut, they go on up into the back of the subframe. All right, those are the bolts I need. I went ahead and again bolted back what goes in the caliper onto the knuckle. I went ahead and screwed those back in. All right, well, let's get the wheels on and then lower the subframe. All right, well, I have everything loose. I put the wheels back on. Should be able to drop the jack and it should just slide right off. Let's see if I got everything okay. All right, it is out, but the wheels themselves a bit too big, so I think I have to jack it up, take off the wheels, and then pull it out with the jack. Sweet. All right, once you get it lowered, you need to get off these brackets for the emergency brake. Whew. A little bit of work. Rear subframe's out. Now I can change the diff bushings. and the subframe bushings up here. A little play, not too much, but I'm going to be putting in the energy suspension polyurethane ones, not solid. Still following the theme of pretty much want to be able to have it on the street and not completely jarring, so that'll still give you a little bit of play. All right, well, subframe out.